Right. Good morning, everyone. All the online students. Is that the screen is visible? All the online students. Could you please everyone respond in the chat window? I request all the online students need to respond in the chat window. Okay. Perfect, guys. Let's get started then. So the one we have been discussing about these particular important concepts here. I mean, which we have been started in working with or actual concept of playwright automation. So previously, we are in the discussion of in understanding what are the things has been required to get work with the playwright. So now we have been understanding and we are working with in getting started this particular playwright automation. For that, if I just go with this particular respective playwright, our very first understanding, if you want to get start working with the playwright, if you want to get start working with the playwright, see the concept. If we just go with working with the playwright, the first understanding which we required playwright library. If we want to get start working with the playwright, first we require playwright library. Based on that particular playwright library, you will be able to access that particular playwright models. Based on that particular models, you are able to access a class. Based on that particular class, you will be taking with method. Use of the method to perform an action. Performing with the action is nothing but developing automation script. Performing with the action is nothing but developing automation script. Developing automation script has been done based on manual test cases. So this is what the connectivity or this is what the hierarchy we need to work for the whole playwright, for the whole concept of playwright. If you want to get work with that particular playwright library, first you will be taking with the playwright library. Based on that particular playwright library, you will be taking with playwright models. Based on the model, you will be taking with the class. Based on that particular class, you will be taking with the method. Method has been performing that particular action. Performing with the action is nothing but developing automation script. Developing the automation script is nothing but based on manual test cases. Now, this is what we have been already discussed it, which are working with. So the whole program of playwright automation, it will be followed with the same steps only. Let's see here. In this, if I'm just taking with this particular aspect of playwright, if I'm just taking with this particular aspect of playwright, to get an access of that particular playwright library, you need to go with installation. So that particular installation only you done with npm and then playwright. Okay, sorry. npm you will be taking with init and then playwright at the rate latest. So with the installation, you are able to access that particular playwright library. Then you are accessing that particular respective model. That is what you will be taking with test model. Then you will be taking with that particular class. You will be taking with that particular respective page class. Then you will be taking with that particular methods, go to method, and then taking with that particular fill method, and then taking with that particular locator method, which it will be continued with these particular steps here. So need to be get go with in mentioning that it will be taking with these particular respective steps here. So in this way, I can go with that particular respective of installation, and you need to be get start working with this particular playwright. Let's follow the same. We are working with that particular same concept. First, we need to be get go with that particular manual test case. We got that particular manual step. That is, we are automating, open the application, and then taking with login into application and log out from application. Let's see that how exactly we can complete that particular whole test case here. First, it will be taking with the help of creating with the file, which you need to be get create that particular respective file here. Now, as usual, if I'm just taking with in creating with the file, which you will be taking with right click on test folder, taking with new file. Providing with the file name, we can go with in providing with the file name as you will be taking with that particular one, you will be mentioning that automation script, whatever the manual test case ID is there, you need to be get provide that particular manual test case ID. Mention that TC002. If required, you can provide with the description, otherwise not like mandatory. To recognize it is an a playwright file, you will be giving with the extension .spec.ts. So which you will be taking with that particular .spec.ts. Okay. So which you will go with this particular step. Now writing with the code. So installation only one time activity for one project. For one project, one time activity. If you're working with the new project for that particular folder, again, you need to create that particular respective installation. As we are already done with installation, you will be taking with importing that particular model. So a lot of models has been available. Slowly you will get understand on that. For now, as part of our requirement, we are importing that particular test model. So that particular test model we are importing. After that, as we are already knowing that, we mentioned that one test method. One test method is equal to one automation script. According to this particular playwright automation, one test method is equal to one particular automation script. How many test methods, automation scripts, test cases you want to be get automated, we can go with that many test methods. And in the same way, every test method is accepting two arguments. Every test method is accepting two arguments. First argument is test case description. First argument is test case description. So whatever the description you want to provide, you can mention that. And the second argument you will be taking with that particular respective of async method, which you will be taking with callback function. And this is which you will be taking with page reference, you will be taking with the page class. Now, if I'm executing with the program, if I'm executing the program up to this particular step, see that to execute in a program, npx mention that playwright and then test tc 002 underscore. You will be taking with the login and then you will be taking logout dot spec dot ts. You will be taking with hyphen. You will be mentioning that headed mode. So when I'm mentioning that particular headed mode, it will be executing in that headed mode. That means the browser will be getting a visibility. Let's see that. Now I'll just go with in doing this particular execution, you will be able to see to have visibility of that particular browser. So for now, it got mentioning the three tests here. It has been executing three times, three individual browsers. It is just opening with the browser and closing with the browser. See here, it got open with the browser and then closing that particular respective browser. But understand the concept, guys. All the online students also understand the concept. Are we written any code in launching with the browser? I mean, are we written any methods in related to launching with the browser? You start a test method. Okay. But closing the browser, did we written that code here? Related to closing with the browser, did we mention any methods here? No, we have not mentioned any of that particular method. Then, without mentioning with the method, how it is working, as we have not written that code, without mentioning that particular code, how it is working. That is what you will be taking with the concept of your page. If I'm taking with this particular page, for understanding purpose, you can consider like in a class. For understanding purpose, you can consider like in a class. But according to the playwright, according to this particular playwright, this page has been considered as a fixture. The terminology it will be using as a fixture. What exactly the meaning of this? So what exactly the meaning of the fixture? Mentioning that which is automatically executed, which is automatically executed. That means we have not written any of the code related to the browser. But even though we have not written that code, it has been automatically executing. So that particular concept it will be taking with the picture. Still, to get in a more understanding, let me keep the cursor at page. See the description, how it is saying here. If we look into the internal structure, we got mentioned page, small p. Whenever our program is executed, internally it is referring the capital P, consider as a class. That particular class as part of playwright, it is considered as a fixtures here. The meaning of fixture is which is automatically getting executed. That particular concept it will be considering the fixture. Still, if you want to be get more clear picture, is that really the code has been executed by fixture or not? For that, you can refer HTML report. You can just go with and referring with that particular HTML report. If I'm taking with this particular HTML report, see the HTML report 77 batch playwright report. If I just open this particular playwright report, it will be taking with detailed information. It has been mentioning that pass will be the three test cases. Why it is taking with the three, that I will explain. But now we can see if I go with in detail, there is a concept of before hooks, after hooks. What is mean by concept of hooks? You will understand. But see that to get open with the browser, to get open the browser, it has been taking the concept of fixture. To get open that particular browser, it has been taking with the help of that particular aspect of fixture. In the same way, to get close also, it will be taking with that particular concept of it will be taking with fixture here. So this code we have not written. We have not written that logic. We have not written that particular code. But that is how the playwright has been introduced in the market while working that particular playwright. So while working that particular aspect of playwright, we are taking with the help of that particular aspect of page reference here. That particular page reference is nothing but fixture here. So that particular fixture means the code which has been automatically executed. You got in a concept of hooks. What is mean by hooks? It will take some time. You will understand in the further sessions. No worries about that particular one. So now see the whole conclusion here. First, we are importing with the test model created with the test method, providing the first argument of test case description, providing the second argument of async method with fixture by considering arrow function. So now it will be continued in performing that particular test step. As part of that particular test step, first I need to begin enter URL. We are providing entering with the URL. To make a slowdown of execution, it will be taking wait for timeout. To make that particular slowdown of execution, we are adding wait statement. Adding the wait statement is not like mandatory. For our understanding purpose, execution has been done or not. Externally, we are giving that particular wait statement here. Then for the confirmation, we are printing with the statement mention that application open successfully. Now let's see that. Let's get executed here. Okay. If I'm just taking with execution, you need to able to see that browser got open and then URL is entered and you will be able to see closing that particular browser. So URL is entered and you will be able to see in closing that particular respective browser which it got that particular respective results here. This is what you will be taking with your first understanding of in getting working with automation tester. So now let's go with still in more detail here how we can continue. Let's look into this. Right. Now, let's go with in more detailed of these particular concepts here. So for now, we got understood the one particular program. So for now, we got understood the first program discussing about open application and then taking with close application. That means how to automate open application and then close application. That is what we got understand here. Okay. So now let's go with in continued with next step. So in continued with next step, how exactly we can go with, it will be taking with next step here. Okay. Done. Now the next step is we need to be get go with entering that particular URL is done. After that, we need to be get go with enter username and password. Now the requirement is we have to enter username and password. Let's see here. Now, so while working these particular whole playwright automation, while working the whole playwright automation, mainly you need to be get perform two steps here. While working that particular playwright automation, mainly you need to be get perform two things here. So that is first one. First one, inform to playwright, inform to playwright to find object or it will be taking element. Because what is our requirement? We have to enter the username. Entering the username, manual testing, we are entering. But now we are working automation testing. As part of that particular automation testing, tool has to enter that particular username. But how tool will enter? By default, it cannot understand anything. By default, the tool cannot understand anything. As a automation tester, we have to provide a very clear instruction saying that tool find the object. Once object has been identified, once object identified, then inform to perform required action. To perform required action. So what exactly the required action to be performed? What exactly the required action to be performed? That is what you need to be get understand. Let's see that. Now how we can inform to the playwright to find that particular object. That is what we discussed about in the earlier sessions of object identification taking with that particular element locators, which it will be having the 7 types of options. In that particular 7 types of options, which option need to be used? It's totally depends on tester comfortable. Based on tester comfortable, we can utilize any of that particular option. Now, see here. As usual, first we will be taking with await. Every playwright automation step, every playwright automation step followed by that particular await. Because as part of that particular playwright, as we got built-in methods, as we got that particular respective of built-in methods which need to be get go with, it will be taking with these particular respective of await statement need to be added. Then it will be taking with page. Everything it will be working with the page only. So that is what we mentioned related to that particular respective page. Okay. So now see here, which it will be taking with, it will be mentioning that it will go with, and it will be having how exactly we can write these particular step. Right. So how exactly we can go with in writing these particular respective steps is page dot, you can use the option get by role. We can provide that particular element role details. Related to that particular element, whatever the role details are there, you can provide that particular respective element role details. By that, it will find the object. Once object has been identified, then it's need to be get perform that particular action. To get perform that particular action, it will be using required method. Now the requirement is need to be get enter with the data. To enter with the data, it will be using with the method name is fill method, and it will be providing the data which need to be get enter. As part of that particular requirement, whatever the data you want to enter, you need to be get take with the help of entering that particular data. No, sir, I don't want to work with get by role. I will be using XPath. You can go with any option. So we can mention that it will be taking with page dot locator. When you are working page dot locator, you can mention that particular XPath, or you can mention CSS, or you will mention name, or you will be taking with ID. Dot. Now, to enter with the data, you're taking the fill method. To enter the data, it will be taking with the fill method. In a similar way, to perform click activity, it will be using that particular respective click method. If you want to be get perform any kind of click activity, if you want to be get perform any kind of click action, it will be taking with click method. This is how it will be continued with your whole playwright automation. The whole playwright automation followed by the same, it will be taking with these two steps here. First step, it will be informing to the playwright to find that particular object. Second step, you need to be get informed in performing that particular required actions here. Now let's see that how we can continue while writing our actual program here. Right. Now, see the whole concept now. You can understand why you have been done with object identification in the earlier session. See that. First, we will be writing with await. I'm taking with page dot locator. I'm just using page dot locator. So while working that particular locator, I can go with that particular respective of XPath details here. Now, if we just look into this, see here, we have to enter the data in this particular text box. For that, we have to find the object. So how we are finding with the object? We are taking with this name attribute, which we got in a tag name of input. So finding with the object, we are already knowing it. As it is, have been followed with the same thing here. So that particular double quotes to forward slash, it will be taking with the input and then at the rate name equal to txt username. Dot, it will be taking with the fill method. We are entering with the data that is Suresh IT as a username. Then you need to be get go with in entering with password. To enter that particular password also, you will be finding that particular object. So finding that particular object, then you will be taking with txt password. So need to be get go with in mentioning that you will be writing with the statement, you will be taking with the await, you will be taking txt password. Then you will be taking with entering with the username, entering with the password. To confirm that it has been entered or not, we are providing that particular wait statement. And after that, for the confirmation, we are printing with the statement console.log. You will be taking with username and password is entered. Okay. Next, we need to begin click on login button. So to click on login button, as usual, you will be taking with the help of this particular value. We got in a type attribute, we got that particular name attribute, which you will be taking with that particular respective of value. So we'll be taking with that particular respective of value attribute. Let's see here. Now, if I'm just taking with that particular login, it will be taking with the locator value equal to login. And for the confirmation, it will be printing with the statement login completed. Then we need to be get go with that particular respective logout. So once we have been done, you need to be get go with that particular respective logout. So if I click on that particular logout, as we are already knowing that here we got an anchor tag. Anchor tag means we can consider that link. The small a is considering that anchor tag. Anchor tag is nothing but you will be taking with link. So now we can try with XPath. We can try with this get by text based on that particular tester comfortable. We can utilize any of the option. Let's see here. So for now, we can work with get by role, which I will be taking with get by role. So previously, we are using with the locator. Here we will be taking with get by link, sorry, get by role. What is the role we provided? Link. And what exactly the name of that particular link? We provided printing with the statement log out completed. This is what you will be taking with your actual job role of automation tester. So going forward, whenever you are working in the real time, in this way, you have to continue in developing automation script. First, the test lead will be assigning what are the test cases need to be get automated. Based on that, it will be continued in developing automation script. So all these particular concept previously you learned it, just we are utilizing. First we got import test model. create a test method. First argument, second argument. Open the browser. Then you will be taking with enter username, enter password. And after that, you will be taking with the login and logout. Now we can see here the whole test case need to be get automated. It's need to be get complete all that particular steps. So which it will get with open with application and doing that particular login and then taking with the logout and close application. So here parallelly it got open with three browsers, but we can make only one browser that you will understand. So let's go with taking that particular close activity, which you will be taking with the login and then taking with the logout and close that particular browser. Now, if you want, you can refer that particular HTML report. If I'm taking with that particular HTML report, you will be able to see all the results here. The program executed in Chrome browser, Firefox browser, and then taking with WebKit browser. These are three browsers it got open here, which it will be taking with these particular steps here. Right. So this is what it will be mentioning that it will be taking with this particular respective program. The first program and the first understanding of automation testing. If you guys understand in the proper way, till yesterday, whatever the sessions we done to understand this program, to write these program, we have been done with all our previous sessions here. In the previous sessions, you discussed about object identification, you discussed about the syntax of that playwright. By taking with the help of that, we are able to continue this particular one here. So this is how I will be taking with this particular respective first program. Okay. So now see the concept here with this particular program. With this particular program, you got understand that with this particular program, you have been understanding that in working with text boxes, works with text box. Like how to automate in a text box, you learned it. Then you learn button. In automating with the button, then you will be learn that you will be taking with Linux here, which you will be taking with that particular respective of this particular one text boxes and then taking with the buttons and then taking with that particular respective links. That means first you are trying to get understand that how exactly we can get automate all that particular individual functionality. So step by step, every day you will be getting with the new concept, you will understand how we can automate that particular functionality here. Okay, done. So this I can just go with and continue that particular practice here, and then it will be taking with right. So which you will be taking with this particular practice, you can continue here as usual. So how you can take with the practice is work with these three particular test cases. Mention that you will be taking with login, logout. So TC, okay, login, logout. This is I can mention the HRMS. In the same way, you will be taking with e-banking and then you will be taking with adaptive. So this is e-banking and this is adapting. That means when you're working with three multiple projects, then it will make you more comfortable in understanding that automation, which you can gain that particular more real time experience here. Okay, right, perfect. Next, we have to move into another concept. All the online students, please be more active, guys. With this, you can continue in doing with the automation. Now we'll be moving into the next concept here, whereas you need to be get understand that particular playwright config file. That means whenever you are installing with the playwright, whenever you got installed with the playwright, so that particular playwright, it will be installing playwright configuration file. As part of the installation only, you will be getting configuration file. What is mean by that? How we need to be get use it. Let's see. So the name, you will be mentioning that playwright config file. So we will be taking with playwright config file. Let's see here. Now, so yesterday we done the installation. As part of installation only, you will be getting this particular playwright.config.ts. This is one of the most important while working with the playwright, because all your playwright has been controlled from this file only. So all your playwright execution, everything controlled from this particular file only. You doesn't require to go with any modifications here. Just we can go with slight update as part of the requirement. See here, first it has been written import. Let's come down. If we come down, we got in a test directory. In general, meaning of the directory, the general meaning of the directory. Mhm. Can we consider as a folder? Yes. So directory is nothing but you will be taking with folder. So here we have been provided path of that particular folder. Now you can understand why we are maintaining all our automation script under the test folder only. Because as part of that playwright setup, it has been already configured to that particular test folder. Then we got an option test run in parallel. Rather than one by one, it's need to be get execute parallel, that it will be mentioning that false. That means while working this particular playwright automation, while working this particular playwright automation, it doesn't require to go with any extra settings related to the parallel execution. It can go with true and false here. Okay. Next, you will be taking with process environment. So what is the meaning of this particular process environment is very simple. Let's consider your laptop only. Whenever you are working with the laptop, you will be using one option. So we'll be using one particular option, task manager. If I go with the task manager, what is the heading you got? Online students. What is the heading you got? What is the heading you are able to see? Right. So you are able to see that particular processes which are executing in a backend. So that particular processes which are executing in a backend. So how many process it will be using, all those things we are not worried about on that. In the same way, while working with the playwright also, you are able to see the terminology workers. The terminology of the workers is in the back end, your playwright program, how many process it's need to be get use it. So that I'm just mentioning that one. I'm just mentioning as a one. No, sir, I will not modify anything. That is okay. It's not like mandatory that you have to modify it. Just we can keep as it is, no problem at all. Then he got reporter. That reporter, what it is mentioned? HTML. That means by default, it will be able to generate that particular perspective of HTML report. So by default, it will be able to see in generating that particular perspective of HTML report. Okay, let's come down. Now, see that you got in a projects. Under the projects, Chromium, Chrome browser, Chrome browser, Firefox browser, WebKit. WebKit is nothing but Safari. Now, how many browsers we got? Chrome browser, Firefox browser, WebKit. How many browsers we got? Online students. How many browsers we got? 3 browsers. That is the reason your program has been executed with 3 browsers, which it will be taking with 3 pass. As in your playwright config file, as 3 browsers got enabled, the tool is understanding for one browser, one test case here. For easy understanding, I'll just go with making a comment of remaining 2 browsers. I enable only this particular Chromium, nothing but Chrome. Remaining 2, I mention that particular comments. In the same way, mobile also. So that mobile also, we can provide that particular browser option. For now, I just make a comment of all these things here. Only I have enabled that particular Chrome browser. Let's see that. Let's see the execution. Now, npx playwright test. So as I enabled only one browser, you will be able to see executing in only one browser. Now we can see running one test, worker is one. Taking with that particular open application and then login and then taking with logout and close application here. So once application got closed it, which it will be generating that particular respective results here. So this is what you will be working with this particular respective of playwright config file here. I mean, whenever you are taking with the practice, you need to be get comfortable in doing that particular required changes. Sometime if I enable Firefox, there may be a chances your browser may give an issue. Not like mandatory, but some of the people they are getting an issue and while open the 3 browsers, just see that your program is executing any one browser, that will be the fine. Because as part of this particular playwright, that code will be the same. It will not have any difference. It can be any of the browser, you can mention it. And always we need to close that particular config file. So always we need to go with that particular respective config file here, which it will be having this particular playwright configuration file. Let's see here. Ah, so I got that particular playwright config file. Okay. So it should not be open it here. Sometimes if the config file is open, it will give an error. Because of that, always you need to be get close it and continued in working with this particular aspect of this particular steps need to be get continued here. Okay. Up to now, everyone has been clear? All the online students. Up to now, everyone has been clear? Okay. Perfect, guys. Perfect. See the understanding now? For now, what are the programs we have been done? See that. We are working with playwright automation. Okay. So as part of playwright automation, the one it will be taking with this particular aspect of first program. First program we have been done with open application and then taking with close application, or you can consider that open browser and then close browser. And after that, we have been discussing about the program login and logout. With this program, we are able to get automate. I mean, we understand that in automating text boxes and then automating buttons and then automating links. Then we got understand that it will be taking with playwright config file. So we understand that playwright config file. Now, please be very clear, guys. Please be more active. Now, we need to understand that manual option of open browser, close browser without page reference. Okay. So now we need to get understand one more option. That is, we are already knowing that how we can open the browser and how we can close that particular browser. That part we are already done. But the same thing we need to get understand that one more particular option. Okay, which it will be taking with one more option, which it will be having with this particular aspect of manual. I mean, here what we have been done, this is using page reference we done. So we have been done with using that particular page reference. Now the same concept only we are understanding with another option without page reference. Let's see here. Right. I'm just creating one more file. Taking with the new file, mention the TC003 that I will be taking with manual dot spec dot ts, which I will be taking with that particular manual dot spec dot ts. Okay. As usual, any playwright program, you are working, you have to import test model. Can be any program you need to import test model. Okay. Then along with the test model, I'm importing one more module that it will be taking with Chromium. Nothing but Chrome browser. I'm importing one more module. It will be taking with Chromium. Then it will be taking with this particular aspect of test method, which it will be taking with that particular aspect of test method. So test method, we are already knowing that it will be taking with test method, we are already knowing that consider as a one automation test case. Previously, we mentioned the page reference. Now we are not mentioning within the page reference. Without using within the page reference, we are understanding how we can open that particular browser. Previous programs, what happened here? If we look into our yesterday's session, we mentioned the page. By this, it got opening the browser. Then we started using go to method, everything. But now we are understanding one more approach. I mean, because of the learning purpose, I'm giving all the approaches here. When you are attending with when you're working with the real time, which option need to be used? Okay, so which option need to be get used? It's totally depends on tester comfortable. Okay, so now you can see here. So which I will be taking with next step. I just taking with one particular variable. We are already discussed about the TypeScript concept. Let variable, constant variable. Variable name I given as a browser. I'm using await statement. Chromium dot launch. That means I'm informing to the playwright. I'm informing to the playwright need to launch Chromium browser. So that particular Chromium browser, we mentioned that headless is false. That means the browser will get visible for the user. Okay. Once browser need to be get open, what type of browser it's need to be get open? So what kind of browser need to be get open is it will be taking with that particular aspect of new context. This is I can see here. See the understanding. First, I will be mentioning that browser initialization. First, we initialize the browser. Which browser we are initializing? Chrome browser. I'm saying that Chrome browser initialization. Then it will be taking with create new browser. Create new browser. That means this is without any history. Okay. So then it will be taking with create new page. Okay. And after that, it will be taking with page dot go to. Then it will be taking with await. So and then I will be mentioning that wait for timeout and then console dot log. Now, let me explain this particular one in a very simple way, which I will be able to explain this. Let's see here. Okay. See the concept here. Now, how it has been done is first, this is initialize the browser. That means first we are informing to the playwright. So playwright, you need to start initializing with the browser. In that particular browser, whenever we got open the browser, see this browser, how many tabs it got open? All the online students, how many tabs it got open? If I open this browser, how many tabs you are able to see? Only one. You are able to see that only one particular tab. That is what clearly mentioning that new tab. That is what it is clearly mentioning that it will be taking with that particular new tab. So that particular new tab only, new context. That new tab only, new context. Then, in that particular new context, it has been taken with page. See the understanding? First, initialize the browser. In the browser, open the tab. In a tab, it's need to be get take with page. That is what exactly we written here. See the code here? First initialize the browser. Then it will be taking with, you can mention create new tab in the browser. In that browser, it will be taking with the new page. In that new page, we got open the application. Then it will be continued all these particular statements here. This is manual option. We are not mentioned with the page, but when you are working with the page, all these particular code already handled by that page here. That is the reason we have not mentioned that. Now let's see here. Let me execute the program. npx playwright. npx playwright. Okay. Playwright file name tc003 manual dot spec dot ts. Okay. Now we can see. So it's need to be need to provide test tc003 manual dot spec dot ts. Able to see the Chrome browser? I got open that particular Chrome browser and then taking with that particular Chrome browser. So here I have been explained two approaches. So first approach is using page reference. Second approach is without using page reference. Previously, we are working the manual option, but now always we used to take with the help of that page reference only. But as part of learning purpose, I given both the options. Whenever we are working with the real time, which option need to be used, it depends on the tester comfortable. Based on the tester comfortable, we can take with this particular respective of. Based on that particular tester comfortable, we can utilize any of that particular option here. So first, we got initialize with the browser. This new context means new tab. The meaning of new context is new tab. In the browser, it will open the tab. In the tab, it will open the page. In the page, it will open the application. So this is what it will be working it. Next, we need to be get understand that verification. I mean, while working with this particular playwright, if you want to be get perform the verification, how we need to perform the verification, that we have to understand. That will be taking in the next session. So on Monday, I'll be taking with the verification. But before that, please take with the practice, guys. If you are not practicing it, it will make any confusion. For Monday, you can complete in automating these particular three test cases: HRMS, login, logout; e-banking, login, logout; adapting, login, logout. So for Monday, you can automate these three test cases. If you want, you can utilize offline lab support. You can utilize online lab support, but make sure that you're taking with the regular practice. If you are not doing with the practice, definitely it will make any confusion here. So please go with regular practice. And the same program, see here, the same program, I can go with another browser. This is Chrome browser. In a place of Chrome, I can take with Firefox. If I require in a Firefox, I will be taking within the Firefox. Related to that particular Firefox, I need to be get import that particular Firefox module. Related to that particular Firefox, I need to be get go with that particular Firefox module that it will be able to execute. Now we can see here it will be executing that particular Firefox browser. We can go with Chrome browser and then taking with Firefox browser. But Edge browser, we cannot write an Edge. If I'm taking with Edge browser, if you want to be get work with the Edge browser, you cannot directly provide Edge browser. It will give an error. See here. Edge it will give an error. We cannot import that model of Edge. Let's see here. There is no model of Edge. Then how you will be working with Edge browser? If you want to be get work with the Edge browser, you will be taking with that particular Chromium only. And here you will be mentioning that you will be taking with the channel. That channel you will be taking with false. I mean, we are saying that the channel will be the false. Then it will understand, rather than open with the Chrome browser, as we mentioned as a false, it's need to be get open Edge browser. Now we can see that it will get open that particular respective Edge browser. So let's go with execute once again. Okay. So which I will be taking with that particular channel, that I will be mentioning the MSH. Let's see. It has been opened that particular Edge browser. So this is how we can go with that particular Chrome browser and then taking with Firefox browser and then taking with Edge browser. So based on that particular tester comfortable, we can go with in utilizing any browser here. So just take with both the practice here. So from Monday, we'll be taking into the next level that will be discussing about these particular verification concepts here. Okay, clear everyone?
Welcome to NC Music World. Bluetooth mode. Okay.
Online students having the questions, you guys can carry on your questions. Please utilize with the practice, guys. You can go with that particular offline lab support, online lab support, because until unless you are not taking with the practice, you cannot get in a more clear picture. The same programs available in the PDF file also, and along with that, I have been uploading in the Google Drive. If you want, you can collect with the hard copy of the material from the institute. That will make you more comfortable for the reference, but make sure that you will be taking the regular practice here. Online students, you can continue questions.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, my first question is that whenever we are trying to create a program, we are passing two arguments for the test method. One is the test case description, and the second one you are mentioning as async. So, sir, is it
Correct.
like that async is always a mandatory method which we have to put, or it is the standard template, or is there anything else we can put?
No, you need to go with this async only because that particular async it got in a connectivity of this await. This async means a synchronization. Now we can see if I remove this async, it will be giving the error at await because internally the two got in a connectivity as part of that particular playwright. So whenever you are working with the playwright, this is the standard. You can understand like syntax or template. We need to be get followed for any playwright program. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, the next question followed by that is that, sir, every time at every statement we are writing await. So is it like
Correct.
mandatory to write await, or although if I'm using async function, still I can write my statements without await also?
No. See, if I remove this away, execute the program, it will give an error. If you want, I can check that.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Yeah. And sir, we are using this method with a arrow function. So, sir, like
Correct.
other day you also mentioned apart from arrow function, we can use an alternative way also, right? Using this same program.
No, no, repeat the question.
Sir, we are using the arrow function here, right?
Correct.
Test. So, sir, is there any alternative also without using arrow function also? Can we write the
No.
whole?
Only the thing is, I mentioned that either we can go with the arrow symbol or you will be using with the keyword of that particular respective function in a place of that particular arrow. Now we can see, so now program will execute. Either we can mention the arrow symbol or you will be using with the keyword of the function. Okay.
Okay, okay. And sir, is it always a good practice that we should write the line number 11, which is page dot wait for, because here we are forcibly waiting.
Wait. Because of the learning purpose, I want to showcase that execution is happening or not, because we have to see the execution, right? So that
Yeah.
is the reason for the slowdown of the execution, I have been added that wait state. That's it. It is not
Uh,
like mandatory.
Otherwise, sir, the await method itself will take care of the page loading and everything, right, sir?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And sir, if you can go to that config file, please.
Yeah.
Sir, like Playwright is the product of Microsoft, but I know you explained us that if we want to use Microsoft Edge as the browser, we have to do the change in the configuration. So in config file also, we have to make the changes similarly. Like here also, we only have three options.
In conflict file, this, I mean, we need to make with the changes. I mean, here we got in three browsers, Chromium browser, and then taking with the Firefox and WebKit. So in case of you're expecting with the Edge browser, so here you need to add that option channel and then taking with that particular MSH. That changes need to be done. Okay.
Oh, okay. The same one, sir, which we have done via the manual process, right, sir?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
Uh,
yes, sir. Thank you,
Next.
sir.
Yeah. All right, guys. No more other
Hello,
questions.
sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, carry on.
Here, first line, next, the Chromium. For Chromium, can you open that file, sir? Here. First line, Chromium and Firefox. These are the classes or any other modules?
These are the models. So here what you are mentioning in these particular test import statement, you can consider like in a models. These are all the built-in models which are available under this particular playwright in this particular test.
These are all available under the test module.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And one more question. What is the difference between a new context and new page? Can you explain in browser?
Well, new context is it will open the new tab. New page is in the tab it will open the page. That is what I clearly written here. So this is the new tab. In the new tab, it has to open that page. So this is a new context. This is in a page. Okay. So first it is opening the browser. In the browser, it will open the new tab. In that particular tab, it has to open the page. That is what you written with the method of new context and then taking with the new page here. Okay.
Can you show me in browser? Browser. No, please explain, please.
This whole thing is browser.
Yes, yes. Huh.
Here you are able to see the tab.
Yes, yes.
This is the new context.
New
And this,
concept. Okay.
this okay.
Okay. Fine, fine.
Oh, right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next.
Sir, can we use instead of let instead of constant?
We can use it. That is variables. Either we can go with the let or we can go with the constant. Anyone we can use it.
Okay. What is the headless false, sir, here?
I mean, at the time of execution, your browser need to get in a visible, right? If we don't want to be getting a browser visible, we'll make as a true. Then because by default, playwright will execute in a headless mode. So we are making that don't get execute in the headless mode. That is what we mentioned, the false. That means it will be getting executed in the headed mode. Okay.
Means browser will be shown.
Browser will be visible. So we are
Visible.
saying that is false, right? So that means browser will get in a visible.
Okay.
Oh,
Hello, sir. Hello.
yes.
Instead of headless false, can we use headed is true?
At the time of execution, I can write that. We can mention.
Here we can't mention like that.
At the time of execution, we have to mention.
Oh.
Sir, for links, get by role, for link purpose, we are using get by role method.
No.
The links.
No, you can go with expert, anything you can use it. I want to showcase that two different things. So I have been given the two different things. But this link also, I can go with the page.locator. You can write the expert of that particular link. So locators can be anything. Okay.
Yeah, because expert of tag name, attribute, and value. Here, tag name will be a link. But in the frames and square in the brackets, name, logout you mentioned. Is the syntax for this get by role is this way?
This is the syntax of get by role. So get by role means we are mentioning that what is the role of that particular object. So what is the role of the object? Link. So which link it is? Logout link. That is what we mentioned. Okay.
Okay.
All and yes? Okay then. Please take care
Thank you.
about the more practice, guys. Please spend the more time into the practice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.